What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video today. We're going to be addressing the situation that happened yesterday with Manchester City and their match with Everton away, which was postponed. But before we crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content and you want to help to support my channel, then subscribe, press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. We are aiming for 15,000 subscribers. At the time of recording this video, we're now less than 600 subscribers away, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Social media links in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. Email also in the description below too. If you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business enquiries, leave a thumbs up on this video if you do enjoy this video and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So let's address everything that has happened within the last 24 hours. Now, the first thing we're going to speak about is our opposition, Everton. Now, they're not happy. They've released two statements yesterday, right before kick-off, or should I say 4 hours, which is close enough to kick-off. They're very unhappy about it, explaining that their game has been postponed due to a coronavirus outbreak amongst the Manchester City squad. Apparently, Manchester City and the Premier League have been discussing the latest test results, which have come out yesterday morning. So I was first made aware of this on Twitter roughly around midday yesterday, that Manchester City have had more positive cases and they're going to release a statement very soon. From that, Manchester City have then requested, apparently, I think this is the rumours that have been going around, requested for the game to be postponed. Not too sure how true that is. All I know is for the official statement, what's been released is the Premier League have postponed the game on health and safety measures, is why the game has been postponed. And so we've had a couple of conflicting reports as to what's happening from the Manchester City end and from everyone else's end, the Everton end. So firstly, from the Manchester City end, Man City believe that something may have happened when they were staying overnight in a hotel when we played Arsenal in the Carabao Cup quarter-final just before Christmas. That's where they believe the players may have contracted coronavirus. From there, Manchester City have had a couple of players on Christmas Day having to self-isolate. That includes Kyle Walker, Gabriel Jesus, and 3 members of staff. So they've all had to self-isolate. And then they've had the latest testing results come out, which came out on the 28th of December, 2 days after the Boxing Day clash, in the morning, which is their next set of tests that have gone out. And it's believed that 5 more Manchester City players have contracted coronavirus. Rumours are one of them players is Ederson. So I presume we're looking at least, if all them are first-team players, City could well have had 7 first-team players out of their game against Everton. Everton are very unhappy that the Premier League and Manchester City haven't communicated properly with them, and they haven't done it in a decent amount of time, that they should have been given notice that the game was going to be postponed. From the City end, though, City didn't know about this until yesterday, like I said, yesterday late morning, around midday. Manchester City then unhappy, of course, because they're going to be without 7 first-team players, which is a big loss to Manchester City. And if you have a look into the EFL and below in England, lots of teams, even if they have just 1 player have coronavirus, have seen that as a reason for them to shut everything down and have their games postponed, because they're not wanting to go forward with it. And that's for 2 reasons. Firstly, health and safety. You're not wanting to spread coronavirus to everybody else, which is absolutely understandable and is a point that it seems a lot of Everton fans and their statement that they released yesterday haven't taken into account. The second point is you could argue that teams are using it as a reason to postpone their game because they're going to be without so many players and not wanting to field a weakened team, which again, if it was roles reversed, I can understand that point of view as well. As far as I'm concerned, though, with this, what's happened with Manchester City, it seems like, considering our last 2 tests, more and more first-team players are getting coronavirus, I wouldn't say it is safe for the players to be playing. Everton players could well, because some players, you can be given what's called a positive negative or a negative positive, which is you're positive, but the test has come back negative because it isn't 100% reliable. And if that's the case, then when you're playing teams, we've already faced Arsenal, we've already faced Newcastle, they could have been exposed to it, and Everton could have been exposed to it as well. So Manchester City now are going to have to go through a period of isolation. They're shutting down their training ground. It's going to have to be deep cleaned, and everyone's going to have to go away and then come back. How long that is for, the protocol is meant to be 10 days, which means if that is the case, 10 days Manchester City cannot be in action from yesterday, which means our match with Chelsea at the weekend will be postponed. It means also that the Manchester derby, which is happening next week, is in danger of also being postponed and being moved. I've seen lots of people arguing about the Carabao Cup with the Leyton Orient match, where they had to forfeit their match because they couldn't field a team. That was due to every midweek the Carabao Cup was having rounds, so they couldn't really afford to be playing catch-up. It has been written in the rules that up to the 4th round, if you cannot field a team, or your team's been hit by coronavirus, you will have to forfeit the tie. As it is with the semi-final, Man City have from now up until April 25th to get their semi-final with Manchester United sorted. So that will not, Man City will not be forfeiting their round, their tie against Manchester United. That will be going ahead. What it does mean is that Manchester City, if our match with Chelsea and Manchester United is postponed, we're going to have a massive fixture pile-up. I put on Twitter yesterday, if that is the case, City, from now until the end of May, which is when all the finals are and everything, the Champions League final, the FA Cup final, if we get to the final of every single competition, from now up until the end of May, we've got 39 games to play, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I think this 5 substitute rule needs looking at again, due to players' health and safety. We're not going to be the only club that's going to be hit by coronavirus. Like I said, we've already faced Arsenal and Newcastle. If I were them, I'd be having serious testing. If there's anyone that's positive, I don't really see how they can't shut everything then, due to what's happened with Manchester City. And we're not going to be the first club that's going to be affected by it. Just look into League One for tonight's fixtures. 7 of the 12 games are off. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The fixture pile-up from this, it's crazy. They're going for a full season in League One. They're playing 46 games in their domestic division. So they're having to, if they're getting to finals and everything, playing just as many games as what Manchester City have now up until the end of the season. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I think Accrington Stanley are already, from the teams that have played all their games, have already got 4 games in hand, including tonight. So they're going to have a massive fixture pile-up. They've not got fans there to be funding this and the motivation. It's just a weird season. It's just absolutely crazy. I do feel like things are going to get worse before they get better. Where do we go from here? What's going to happen? I mean, with Manchester City, with our fixtures, I would have thought that if our games with Chelsea and Manchester United are also off, I would have thought City would want these games doing before the Champions League match against Borussia Mönchengladbach. Now, Everton want, they're not happy, Everton, by the way. Their statement yesterday saying the Premier League and City haven't communicated with them. They're not happy. And I do understand that. What I'm unhappy about with Everton is they haven't wished any of the Manchester City players well in their statement yesterday. It was all self-entitled, all about Everton, 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 without putting any nice notes of saying we're wishing them a speedy recovery or anything, which would have been a nice sentiment. Instead, they look, well, very bitter. And I did put on Twitter yesterday, I've lost a bit of respect for Everton from yesterday and how they've approached all this. They seem like they don't care about their players getting coronavirus. They care about playing that game with Manchester City. They're allowed 2,000 fans. It doesn't comprehend in my brain. I mean, Everton are without some 3 or 4 first-team players, so and they get to have an extra few days break as well at Christmas, which is a bonus. So I don't get it. I really do not get it. But it does mean this is not a disaster, but it is not good timing here for Manchester City. It means that we're going to be having to play, if we're playing our games and sandwiching them in, it could be a case of we play on a Saturday, a Tuesday, a Thursday, a Sunday, and doing that maybe over consecutive weeks to get these games in. Massive fixture pile-up. City will now have a long extended break, so player fatigue is no longer an excuse for Manchester City from now until the end of the season, because as it is, we are kind of having our own winter break here, obviously due to circumstance rather than actually being given a winter break. And that does lead me nicely onto the winter break that we have. I see no reason why Manchester City now should have a winter break. We should be able to try and get our games in to try and play when we can. And we've got a game in hand coming up against Aston Villa as well, which could have been sandwiched in towards the end of January in a midweek slot that we've got that's free, which will now have to be, obviously, you'd think probably be the Everton game. So where we're going from here, it's a little bit of a mess out there. I don't know. I'd love to know your thoughts. That's what I'd like to know. I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments below. In the meantime, from now until Manchester City getting underway again, which I have no idea when it is, we'll just be going into full transfer mode because we've got the transfer window literally just right around the corner. Gossip's flying around everywhere. I'm looking forward to covering it. We have got daily Manchester City transfer updates to look forward to, so we do have plenty of content to come. We're even going to go live, actually, before the new year too, with a live JSGC transfer spectacular for everybody to enjoy too. So I'll see you all again very soon for the next video. Yeah, like I said, leave your thoughts in the comments below. Leave a thumbs up if you have enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. It is free, aiming for 15,000 subscribers. I do want to try and hit it towards the end of the year. I'd say that's quite unlikely now, but I would like to hit 14,500 before the end of the year. That'd be absolutely brilliant. We're not too far away from that, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Don't forget also, social media links in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. Email also in the description below too. If you're going to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business enquiries, I hope everyone is safe and well. Thank you everyone for watching. I've been JSGC. Peace. Ciao for now.